Hello everyone, this is your boy, here to instruct you on how to mod your Persona 3 Portable for the PSP. A little background real quick, I recently acquired a PSP, a very nice PSP 3000. It was already modded, thankfully. I had some games already preloaded on there from a friend, and I kind of got interested. I kind of got into it. I kind of delved in. It came with a copy of Persona 3 Portable on it, and I was like, wait a minute, like there's no cutscenes in this game. Like I went through a whole rabbit hole since I'm not really a Persona fan, and apparently you can mod the PSP version, if you know the ISO file, to have Persona 3 Portable cutscenes for both the male MC, female MC. The female MC is a separate mod called the Katone mod, since it was, it wasn't original. There is a way of doing it. There are some instructions on how to do so. The one in the Game Banana website is not very clear. It kind of assumes that have a lot of previous knowledge. But there is a document out there called a Persona 3 Katone Cutscenes Project PSP installation guide. That doc will also be linked on the Katone website, Katone mod website in Game Banana. And you can use this method for both the OG Persona 3 portable cutscenes and the Katone mod. So if you just want to do one, or if you want to do both, you can just follow those steps. This video has more of a focus on how to do it on the PSP, but the steps on how to do it on the PPSSPP are required for modding the ISO file itself. And after you complete those steps on a more detailed video perhaps, you can come back here to know how to do so on the PSP. But I'm going to be quickly running through how to do it on the PSP emulator way, and then I'm going to be focusing more on how to do it on the PSP. Step 1, you download the PPSSPP. You have to go to meme stick, to go to your settings, to click system, to check the box next to enable cheats. Make sure cheats are enabled. It may or may not look different depending on what version you have. I have 1.19.3. You can download the Libsyn's P Persona 3P mod.cpk. You open that zip file that you downloaded, and you find the ULUS 10512.ini file. You place the file inside of your memestick/PSP/cheats folder. You'll find this in your PPSSPP. You can go to like File and then open memestick on the top left. This is just for the US version as well. There's other steps for doing the other languages. The document itself has a link for the different versions of Persona 3 Portable. I personally have the US one. You can set up Amulus. You can install that as well through their GitHub or through their website. Make sure it's the latest version. One main thing though, make sure when you open Amulus, you run as administrator. If you open it as if you don't do so, there's a good chance that it won't work. Like you'll be going around like I did, trying to make sure like, hey, like why isn't this working? You run an Amulus as administrator first, prior to building the mods.cpk, because if you don't do so, your very first time it'll show an error. So make sure you do that first, then you do the mod, and then the mod should work. You open up the Amulus package manager. You click on the game icon in the top left and make sure it's set to Persona 3 Portable. Click config. This will open a new window where the boxes are with the file locations. It would originally be blank. Put in your output folder, your cheats path, and your Persona 3 Portable ISO path, as well as your PPSSPP Windows.exe path. For the output folder, make sure it's the PSP memestick, PSP, and then the P3P folder. The P3P folder will not be there. You have to create that yourself. For the cheats path, that's already there. You go to cheats and then make sure it's on. You select ULUS 10512.ini, which is where you place that file at originally. That's where the cheats path is going to be at. For ISO path, make sure you can copy the path of the ISO file in whatever folder you have it stored that the PPSSPP opens to play the game originally. Make sure you do that first as well. You open the game. Once you have it set up, you can click Unback Base Files. It'll take a moment, but then a window will pop out with Finished Unpacking. Then you finally go to the website. You can go on the dock itself. This is for the Kone Cutscenes project. If you do this, it'll only be the Kone ones. You have to go to Persona 3 Portable Cutscenes Restored, and then you download that. So me personally, I did Cutscenes Restored just to test it out, just make sure it works. This is what the video to go over, but you can follow the instructions to do it all in detail. After that, you install that. Make sure it's checked. Make sure it's enabled. You check that. And of course, there's on the dock itself it mentions Cutscenes Restored. You then download the video files for the Kone project. You do not have to do this for Cutscenes Restored. This whole thing right here is for the Kone mod, since it's the mod. It's not adding something that's original to the game. It's like completely custom. You know, after it finishes, then you click on the hammer, and you build it, and it'll show finish building. You then open the PPSSPP, and then you right-click Persona 3 Portable in the game list. You then enable cheats on it. On the screen that says ensure that mods support unhard code FMV and ping title screen enabled. Make sure all that's enabled. Now the next step, which is to do on the actual PSP. This is if the mod works on PPSSPP. Alright, so step 1 of making sure that Persona 3 Cutscenes Restored works on your PSP. You're going to want to first go to your settings on your PPSSP, go to Tools, go to Developer Tools. This is 1.9.3, so it's not going to be the same as in the document. You're going to have to go to Dump Files, and there it says, you know, Dump Decrypted eBoot on Game Boot. If this is already checked, then you're good if you already opened the game. But if it's not checked, you check it, you go back, and then you open the game again. And you close it, just to make sure that, you know, it's running smoothly. So next, you're going to want to go to your file, open memory stick, go to PSP, system, dump, and then you're going to want to copy this file. Let's say copy it and like make a new folder. Just going to call it D. Yeah, we're just gonna call it D. We're just gonna paste it in there. There we go, nice and safe. I renamed my my folder to P3P backup files, so just ignore that change. I also have Amulus package manager on there from earlier in this folder. What you're gonna want to do is you're gonna want to get xdelta from GitHub. You're going to want to put that in the same folder right there. You're going to want to execute it. Next step, you go to P3P patches master. You want to put that, extract that onto that same exact folder. Is down, go to the create new, click on this link so that you can get the create new eBoot program. After you have xdelta, you run it, and then it should give you an eboot.bin file. If you can't do that, if you're not able to do that, you can find the file in the how to mod Persona 3 Portable in Game Banana. That's what I personally had to do. No matter how many times I ran this, it wasn't working. I even tried running it as administrator, it wasn't working, so I just pasted the file in there and just have it here, just for demonstration purposes. What you're going to want to do next is make sure you open the original file that you want to modify from your PPSSPP system, your PPSSPP, PSP system dump, the original one, not the copy that you made. You will see that there is, the eBoot file. Okay. Oh, there she is. There's the eBoot file. What I'm gonna do is get the new eBoot file, drag and drop her in there. Yes. And then you click save. And then uncompressed ISO. We can just name it whatever we want. The one, how it's mentioned in the instructions is, you know, the example one. I'm just gonna do the example one, just like remember, you know, Persona 3 portable modded.iso. You want to click save. Just let that load up, and then that's when you get to step 3, which is transferring your modded files to the PSP. In step 3, which is transferring your modded files to your PSP or PS Vita, go to File and PPSSPP, open Memory Stick, PSP, and this is where you'll find your P3P folder where you put the mods at. This is the very first thing you want to do though first. Next, you're going to plug in your PSP or PS Vita to your computer. Then this window pops up when you plug it in. This is where you'll see there's a good chance you might not have this ISO folder, but if you've already modded, if you've already like, you know, had ISOs with like with games and stuff, you should be able to see it. And you know, I've already done this, so this is where you want to put in your created Persona 3 portable mod. This is the file that is modded. Originally, the P3P folder will have this file in it. So what you're gonna do, so originally this file right here is gonna be here, the one that got created, and then you just grab it, you click it, and then you drag it right here. Right after that, though, you're gonna want to set up Tempar if your PSP doesn't already have it. This is step 4. In the actual document itself, there's a link to download Tempar. This will allow for cheats to run on the PSP, similar to how like on PPSSPP you can set up those settings for cheats, which with PSP obviously it's different. You're not gonna be able to do that as easily. Okay, so after you download Tempar from the link in step 4, you want to unzip that file, and then you drag it onto the root of your PSP, not inside of here. You want to click and drag the files inside of the Tempar download folder, and then unzip them onto your root. This will give you C plugins. Another part in step 4 is you didn't download another zip file, which is called extract inside C plugins folder.zip. This folder, you unzip it, and it gives you game C plugins and pops. You're gonna need that as well. Plug it in here, and then you unplug it, you unzip it, and then this is what will happen. So I'm just gonna delete you real quick. Yep. Yeah, this is what you want. And instead of the Tempar folder cheats, you get the ULUS 10512 file. Afterwards, you can then eject your PSP. In step 5, you eject your PSP. You turn it on. You hold the select button. You get a VSH menu. For some people, you see plugins manager, plugins something at first, and for others, you go to recovery menu and then you go to plugins manager. You should see like a tempar.prx in the list of plugins. You have to make sure that it's turned on, enabled. And then you reopen the VSH menu again. You select your reset device to restart your PSP to make sure that Tempar is running. And then you can navigate to your games and boot up Persona 3 Portable. And then when the game is running, you hold R, PSP logo at the same time, and then you can open up Tempar settings. The screen should look like an unhardcode FMV and pink title screen with a green Y on the left. Make sure all that stuff is enabled, including cheats. And then afterwards, you can close the menu with O, or the circle, and then you can just play the game. And those are the steps on how to install Persona 3 Portable Cutscenes Restored mod onto the PSP. If you have any questions, you could always contact creators of the Katone mod or Cutscenes Restored mod. It is very tricky. You might run into some issues in the very final step. But I'm sure that the creators are happy to help on providing links to different software or updated versions of the linked applications required on modding the game itself. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys found this useful. See ya.